Hello indie game fans, an interesting week of new indie games awaits us for the first week of August, where a number of highly anticipated titles makes it to launch, with a surprise or two and some ports worth a look, and do watch the video in full, since there's both a sponsored giveaway and a key drop somewhere in this edition of Indie Gaming this week. Let's begin with My Friend Pedro Ripe for Revenge, a free mobile-only title based on the slick action platformer. If you're not familiar, you play as a Deadpool-like protagonist, going on a killing spree of criminals egged on by a sentient banana, but somehow getting a mobile version with a new art style and a control scheme that looks like it was designed for touchscreen, making it one to get. The next title has been a long time coming, since I've seen Toodee and Topdee frequently pop up when looking for new pixel art titles, where this puzzle platformer has you swapping between a 2D platformer and a top-down Sokoban style puzzle interface, where the two characters have to work together to get to the end of the level. While it does start off simple, such as creating platforms with blocks, things quickly take an interesting turn, especially when gravity, water, and portals get into the mix, looking like a head-scratchingly good time. This video is brought to you by The Last Survey, a choose-your-own adventure game from developer SKALD and publisher Red Deer Games. You play as a specialist engaged by a large corporation where you discover something very disturbing about the future of the entire planet, presumably through the results of The Last Survey, where it is up to you to deliver the bad news. The art direction, while simply in black and white, does work for a narrative game like this, where some of the art and transformations shown in the trailer are impressive. This will be getting a Switch version on August the 6th, so do pick it up if interested. Additionally, the publisher is running a giveaway, link in the description, where you can use the code BESTIndieGames for additional entries, where the giveaway should be live within an hour or so of this video going up. The no-brainer pick of the week has to be Death Trash, a long-in-development pixel art RPG that allows you to explore a post-apocalyptic wasteland, only this time with cosmic horror elements. Think of it as Fallout but with squishier, grosser creatures and in real time instead of being turn-based, and you get some idea, although there is also an element of sentient AI and such in this. Needless to say, it does have fantastic pixel art, so me being me, it gets a spot. Speaking of great pixel art, a very special mention goes to Starmancer, another title that I've been keeping an eye on due to how great it looks, where it's a colony sim on board a space station where you play as the AI. The basic gist of it is to ensure the survival of the humans on board, ensuring enough food, water and facilities for their comfort, but watch out for space pirates, internal sabotage and zombies as well. I'm curious about the meta layer since you can investigate distress signals and there is a space map to explore, and most interestingly, you can choose to go in the other direction and play as a rogue AI, so let's see if it lives up to the likes of RimWorld in this space.
Finally, I've made it! My time is now! I will become the best player the school has ever seen! Dodgeball Academia, here I come!
I mentioned Dodgeball Academia in my coverage of the PC gaming show at E3, where it was announced and released within 2 months or so, which is a quick turnaround. But it's a sports RPG that centers around dodgeball, so of course I'm in. I enjoy non-traditional sports titles since they are a breath of fresh air after the umpteenth soccer video game, where the vibrancy of the arts and fantastic action and special powers makes this of interest. Just one bigger title of the week in Hunter's Arena Legends, a 30-player PvPvE Battle Royale title that's from a South Korean developer, which launches out of early access after about a year. This will simultaneously launch as a PlayStation Plus game with cross-play support, so that should give the player population a boost, but do note that it currently sits at mixed reviews on Steam. I'm supremely happy to kick off smaller games with the Switch port of A Monster's Expedition, a puzzle game that was one of my favourites from last year, where in addition to the port, there is a free expansion titled the Museum Update, which adds 100 new puzzle islands, making it an even better package.
Supernatural. Until the very end.
A spooky adventure game of interest is Almost My Floor, coming to us from a Russian developer and having some fantastic hand-drawn art with a mystery to uncover, where the prologue demo on Steam did well, so it's one to watch. I just talked about action-adventure games in yesterday's video, so if you're looking for something to play right now, perhaps check out Brothers Apart, a pixel art entry that does look pretty cute and appears to have some interesting systems. The Rivals of Aether spin-off strategy card game Creatures of Aether launched on mobile in September last year and has been fairly well received, where the grid-based combat starring your favourite characters is pretty good, coming to Steam this week, but do note that there are in-game purchases. A fantastic and relaxing flight sim title is Lifeslide, where you control a paper plane soaring through wondrous landscapes, finally coming to Steam after previously being an Apple Arcade exclusive. One of the most interesting smaller games is Misery Street, an adventure RPG with a simple look where you play as a character named Emo on a quest to find the meaning of life. It has to be said that this does give off some Undertale vibes, although that is a high bar to live up to, and I don't really want to set up unrealistic expectations. A game that's flying a little under the radar is Razenroth 2, the sequel to a fairly well-received title from 2015 with a different art style, swapping out the pure top-down perspective to something resembling an action-adventure game, but as a loot-driven action game with some procedural generation, making it one to watch.
The Gaulian Empire flourishes. With all of the known world at peace, our people give praise to their Magi lords. It is by their grace that the Empire stands upon the threshold of a golden age of reason and enlightenment. Rejoice in the knowledge that their power has never been greater, nor the Empire more vital. Let there be no doubt. The world belongs to mankind.
One of the reasons why I love indie games is that you can get super out of left field ideas and games in the space, case in point being SKALD Against the Black Priory, a retro RPG that would not be out of place on the Commodore 64. It's an open-world RPG with tactical, turn-based combat, where the dithering of the pixel art, character portraits and overall vibe of this is simply excellent. A sweet-looking bullet hell horizontal shoot 'em up is Star Hunter DX, releasing on Switch first and will be coming to other platforms later, where there is a risk-reward system since all enemy projectiles turn into gold when you activate bullet time, adding to your score, making it for fans of the genre. Quick little trailer for Stellar Warfare, a real-time strategy game but in space, where there are worker units, base building and resource gathering but in space, coming to us from a solo developer, which makes it impressive.
Vzpomínky můžou zajímat jenom nějaký sudecký Němce jako je Greč.
No, chtěla jsem se podívat na místo, kde jsem se narodila a na rodný dům a hlavně jsem chtěla to místo ukázat.
I don't normally cover FMV titles, but the developer of, and I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation, Svoboda 1945 Liberation did reach out to me and seemed earnest enough, so I thought I'll give them a shot. But this is an investigative title where you're sent to the titular village on the Czech-German border to investigate an old feud. The actors in this seem good, but there are point-and-click adventure game elements as well, making it a curiosity for the week. Additionally, I have a spare Steam key for their previous game, Attentat 1942, which shares some characters with this game, so fastest fingers first. Another title that I'm not quite sure how to pronounce is Venaitura, a classic-looking JRPG inspired by NES classics, where my soft spot for the genre shows once again, making it one to check out. RPG Maker games do get a bad rap, but one that happened to catch my eye is the comedic Who Stole My Beard, an adventure game where you and a humanoid dog go on an adventure to recover said beard, looking all sorts of trippy and weird, but could be a good time. Rounding off smaller games is the Switch port of Zengeon, a very anime action roguelite that released on Steam in 2019, where you play as students of the Celestial Academy, fending off the demon god and his minions during a lunar eclipse, being a decent one of these and is one to get. Let's kick off the top 5 with The Ramp, a title that I'm so very excited to share with you since it's a skateboarding sandbox title that self-describes as a digital toy. There isn't much structure or points or missions or anything of the sort, but what the developer promises is tons of flow, looking like a quick distraction that is well made, where the developer did previously work on Superflight and Islanders, so it's in a similar vein. Having made my best upcoming games of the month video, it will be no surprise that Haven Park makes the list, an adorable life sim management game that puts you in charge of a nature park. Do your best to keep it up and running, repairing broken facilities, picking up the trash and attracting new campers to the site. Reductively, it does look like a short hike crossed with Animal Crossing, where everything in this game simply looks adorable and cozy, making it a must-get in my opinion. Speaking of cozy, Here Comes Nico is a 3D platformer with 2D sprites where you work as a professional friend with a frog as a boss. Yes, it's as wholesome as the premise sounds, where your entire purpose is to help and befriend the various villagers on these islands, whether it be playing sports, getting an item for them, catching bugs or growing flowers. I love the art style and colour palette chosen, where the mix really complements the cozy theme, so for another heartwarming experience, check this one out. It is also being published by Gears for Breakfast, developer of A Hat in Time, so of course there's something to this game. This year has been lacking in great action roguelites, with only a handful of significant titles, but add one more to the list with Dreamscaper, an action-packed title conveniently set in dreams and nightmares, giving a narrative justification as to why you're able to respawn when you die. This has gained a lot of momentum and was polished up quite nicely throughout early access, finally hitting version 1.0 and launching on Switch at the same time. There is meta progression in the waking world, giving this game a compelling gameplay loop where you're trying to overcome trauma and nightmares, perhaps being some form of therapy for some of you. It's grind time, baby! Of course, the no-brainer pick of the week is the surreal dark fantasy Souls-like Metroidvania where you play as a living black hole. Needless to say, I've been very excited for this, not least because it's my favourite genre, but because the art style and influence here is vastly different from your standard high fantasy, gothic horror or sci-fi settings. The enemies look grotesque and horrifying, just like they should be, and with the transformable living weapons at your disposal and the ability to absorb your enemies, this looks like the complete package, taking the #1 spot. For more Metroidvania games, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.